get right. Let's get right. Let's get right. Let's get right. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Dealatofficial, and this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode, and sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Get you something to eat, get you something to drink, get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Cause you see the title, fam. Huh? Let's get into this here.
Now we go to a horrific scene in Nigeria after a car crash hurt a former heavyweight champion and killed two of his friends, with new reaction from the boxing world. NBC's Morgan Chesky has more.
In the building.
In Nigeria, crowd swarming wreckage, cameras out, as Anthony Joshua emerged from a back seat, shirtless and grimacing in pain, the only survivor in a horrific crash, killing two. The Lexus SUV, mangled beyond recognition, was carrying the former two-time world heavyweight champion. Its pieces scattered across the highway on the outskirts of Lagos. Authorities say the collision happened around 11 a.m. local time, when the Lexus lost control during an overtaking maneuver and crashed into a stationary truck. Adding, it appears the vehicle was traveling over the speed limit. The two killed confirmed to be Joshua's close friends and teammates, Latif, Ayodele, and Sina, Ghami. The Nigerian-British boxer most recently in the spotlight just weeks ago, when Joshua took on influencer-turned-boxer Jake Paul. The highly publicized fight ending in the 6th round, when Joshua unleashed a devastating punch, breaking Paul's jaw. Following today's news, Paul writing, "Life is much more important than boxing. I am praying for the lost lives, AJ, and anyone impacted by today's unfortunate accident." The president of Nigeria also extending deep sympathies, adding, "As a sportsman, you have always shown courage, discipline, and unwavering love for our country." And tonight, boxing officials tell us that Joshua does remain hospitalized with minor injuries. Meanwhile, that accident remains under investigation.
Why was Anthony Joshua the only passenger to survive the horrific car crash? Few realize that 3 decisions he made before the crash saved his life. No one would have expected that just days after Anthony finished a high-profile fight with Jake Paul, he would be involved in a brutal car crash in Nigeria. Surprisingly, in this crash, 2 of the 3 passengers in the car died, and only Anthony survived, sustaining only minor injuries. Judging by the damage to the vehicle, the crash was extremely severe. So why did Anthony come out almost unscathed? First, Anthony chose the safest spot in the car. Footage from the scene shows that he was seated directly behind the driver. Since the car collided head-on at high speed, most of the impact was absorbed at the front, making his seat by far the safest place. Second, as a former professional boxer, he possesses extraordinary physical strength, as well as faster than average reflexes. At the moment of the crash, he instinctively assumed a protective posture, and his strong physique helped him survive the ordeal. Finally, according to eyewitnesses at the scene, even though Anthony was in the back seat, he was wearing a seatbelt, which greatly reduced the impact forces on him.
2 of Anthony Joshua's close friends and team members have been named as the men who were killed in a car crash in Nigeria, in which the British boxer was injured. Sina, Ghami and Latif Ayodele were pronounced dead at the scene after a vehicle they were travelling in with Joshua collided with a stationary truck on a busy expressway near Lagos. Eddie Hearn, who is the chair of Matchroom Boxing, which is Joshua's promoter, described Ghami and Ayodele as 2 great men, adding that his thoughts and deepest prayers are with everyone. Joshua was rescued from the wreckage alongside the driver and taken to hospital after suffering minor injuries. His promoter says he is in a stable condition and will remain under observation.
The boxer Anthony Joshua was in a car crash. This happened in Nigeria, guys. The two people he was with didn't make it. What I'm trying to understand is, how did Joshua suffer minor injuries, but the two people he was with didn't make it? Now, remember, guys, he was in the back of an SUV. So, you know, people in the back, I guess he had a seatbelt on. Because if not, he would have probably went through the front, right? But the two people...
Anthony Joshua. On December 19th, Anthony Joshua faced off in the ring with YouTuber boxer Jake Paul. The fight ended in the 6th round with Anthony knocking out Jake Paul in front of millions of people. This fight was Anthony's biggest payday, with reports indicating that he earned over $93 million. While Anthony had just won his biggest bag in boxing in his entire career, the celebration didn't last very long. Exactly 10 days later, the unimaginable would happen. Anthony ended up in a tragic car accident that claimed the lives of his coach and his trainer. Now, the timing of all of this has left many people wondering if there is something sinister behind this tragedy. Was this just a random accident, or did Joshua unknowingly or knowingly pay a dark price? Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about the Anthony Joshua situation. But before you begin, I just wanted to let my Patreon members know, I just released a new Patreon exclusive. This video is about Trump and some serious allegations that might change the way you look at him forever. If you're one of my members, make sure to check the video out ASAP. You can find the link in the description and in the comment section. I want to thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. I want to start this video by giving my condolences to the families of those who died in the accident. Just days before New Year's, these families lost their father, friend, and brother. This is why it's important to always cherish and respect life, as you never truly know when's your last day. Now, I have been seeing a lot of people talk about this situation, with many people thinking this wasn't just a random accident, but something much deeper. All over social media, I have seen all types of posts, some that are extremely ridiculous, and others that at least raise some questions. Now, I myself looked into this situation, and I have to say, I did uncover some rather interesting details that do make you wonder if there was more to this. For those who don't know Anthony Joshua, he is a British-Nigerian former heavyweight boxing champion. Recently, he has been trending for two completely different reasons. One, he knocked out Jake Paul in a boxing match, and two, he ended up in a horrible car accident that claimed the lives of two of his close friends. Now, on the internet, some people have come to the conclusion that these two incidents were somehow connected. The results of the boxing match between Joshua and Paul in some way led to the car accident that claimed the lives of his friends. You may be wondering why people are saying that. Well, if you know how this world truly works, then you understand this is exactly how things happen. When situations like this happen more often than you would think, it's not just a random accident, but a price that needed to be paid. We are able to determine if this situation is one of those situations by searching for tells and signs. Usually when these rituals happen, they are played out in symbolism and numerology, all of which this boxing match seems to show. Let's take a closer look at the boxing match so you can see what I mean. The boxing match between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua took place on December 19th. It was a massive fight with reports of over 33 million viewers. Anthony won the fight when he knocked out Jake, breaking his jaw during the 6th round. After Anthony won the fight, it was reported that he was paid $93 million for the fight. Now, for those of you who have been watching me for years, you might have already picked up on some rather interesting details. Details that are clearly connected to occult numerology. First, there was a total of exactly 33 million viewers. Exactly 33, what a coincidence. We all know the importance of the number 33 in the world of the occult, especially its significance in Masonry. In the secret organization, the number 33 represents ascension, reaching enlightenment, and becoming gods on earth. It is the highest degree in the Scottish Rite sector of Masonry. To become a 33rd degree Mason, you have to be invited after making it to the 32nd degree. You can't just join because you made it to the 32nd degree. You have to be chosen. When big public events are used for rituals, they tend to hide signs through symbolism and numerology that represents the ritual. This could be just that, as I believe they reported exactly 33 million viewers to indicate the ritual. Another interesting detail is how many rounds the fight lasted. It is being reported that Joshua knocked out Jake Paul during the 6th round, another number heavily used in numerology. See, the number 6 in the occult represents man's human imperfection and weakness. It also represents the number of the beast. While it might look like a coincidence the fight only lasted 6 rounds, most people already know these influencer boxing matches are all rigged and scripted. They chose this match to end in the 6th round because it was all a part of the ritual. Joshua beat Jake Paul in the 6th round while 33 million people were watching. In the occult representation of this ritual, Joshua transcends from man to God after beating Paul. Joshua was then paid exactly $93 million, which again is connected to the occult numerology. If you flip and invert 93, you get 63 or 36. Which again goes back to the number of man becoming God. This fight was rich in symbolism. I also found some interesting symbolism from before the fight during the weigh-in. While Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua posed for the camera, I noticed Nakisa Baidarian, Jake Paul's MVP associate, doing a Masonic hand gesture. This to me says a lot, as he's standing between both men doing the symbol, almost showing that all of this was about to be a giant ritual, especially since we know what ended up happening just a few days later after the fight. Now, when it comes to Jake Paul, we don't need to look too deep into him. He's openly involved in the order and has shown his alliance many times over. When it comes to Joshua, I also found ties to the Masonic order as well. Anthony has this photo standing over the checkerboard floor with a Greek god statue behind him. This photo was likely taken at a Masonic temple. The checkerboard floor is found at every Masonic lodge. I am confident this photo was taken inside of a lodge. Anthony actually has a direct connection to the Masons, believe it or not. He collaborated with a Masonic lodge that auctioned off his boxing shorts. This entire event was hosted by the Freemasons, indicating Joshua is likely a Freemason, as they only work with their own, which isn't at all far-fetched because many boxers are actually Freemasons. Many boxing legends were open Masons. People like Manny Pacquiao revealed his Masonic affiliation publicly. He has photos inside of a Masonic lodge that he posted online. So considering that Anthony Joshua is likely a Mason, it's not hard to believe he might be in the middle of an occult ritual, which leads us to the day of the crash. Joshua was involved in a serious car crash in Nigeria on Monday, December 29, 2025, that tragically resulted in the death of 2 of his close friends and team members, Sina, Ghami, and Latif. Joshua himself sustained minor injuries and was taken to a hospital for observation, where he was in stable condition and was eventually released. Investigations by the FRSC and local police indicated that the Lexus they were in was traveling at an excessive speed and lost control during an overtaking maneuver, crashing into a truck. The impact was mostly on the passenger side of the vehicle, where his coach and trainer were sitting. Just like that, 10 days after winning one of the biggest paydays, he ends up losing his close friends and members of his team. Now, what many people are saying is that the timing is quite strange. We all know accidents do happen, I'm not saying they don't. But knowing the pro sports world and its connections to the occult and Masonry, I can't lie. All of this looks like it could be connected. Anthony could have unknowingly or even knowingly participated in some sort of occult ritual. When I saw this happen, all I kept thinking about was the movie Him. I kept thinking about the trailer scene where Marlon asked the question, to be the GOAT, what are you willing to sacrifice?
Film is about the relationship between a student and his hero. Him means the GOAT.
The greatest of all time. Legend, man.
The one person who deserves respect among all, and this film begs the question,
To be a star, what are you willing to sacrifice? Isaiah is trying to teach Cam, you need to make these sacrifices to be the GOAT. It's for greatness. If you want to be the GOAT, you have to take it from
Anthony just made $93 million in one fight. But the question is, did he sacrifice his close friends for it? While people might think Him was just a movie, I recently covered a story of a former professional soccer player who admitted he was approached by the secret societies, claiming that they wanted to initiate him into the secret order so that they could make him a big star. But the downside was he was going to have to be willing to sacrifice a loved one.
Former professional soccer player Khalil Lambin, you have an absolutely wild story, including the offer to sell your soul for success. Tell us about it.
Till the day I reached the UK, and in the UK, I was offered by a journalist who in the beginning, I was not aware that he was part of this. So he basically said, let's have an interview about you. You've been in Thailand, you've been in Qatar, you've been all over the place as a young player. So the fans want to know more about you. So obviously I was naive and I said yes. And a couple of weeks later, I got some time. We went to a coffee place. And as I arrived, brother, he looked me straight in the eyes and he told me that I'm not a journalist. I'm like, if you are an agent, I already got a football agent. If you are from another team, I don't want to move from my actual team. I'm fine where I am. But then he said, no, we rule this world. We rule the sport industry. We rule the finance industry. We rule the music industry. And if you want to be part of the elite in your sport, you have to join the elite. So I was like, whew, bro, that was like tough, because for me, my hard work will be what will help me to step up. But bro, all my dream came down. I was like, in front of him, he's looking in my eyes and he's telling me that. So obviously my first reaction was fear. But bear in mind, I was not Christian, I was not working with Christ, and I was still Muslim, and he's offering me this. If you ask me today what kept me, is my beloved mother, who always told me, don't you ever sell your soul. And while this man is speaking to me, I could hear the voice of my mom in my ears. Do not sell your soul. Do not sell your soul. But then I asked him this question, what do I have to do to be part of the elite? He said, there is nothing physical. I will give you an address. You come at such and such time, and we will initiate you. I was like, whew. And as the voice of my mom was a seed in my heart, she kept, as he's speaking, I'm hearing, do not sell your soul. Do not sell your soul. I was like, whew, I can't do that. And I could see his energy, his aura was getting like really, no. That can't be possible. And I was like, no, I can't. And if you ask me today, I know that Jesus saved me from that. And as I'm reading the Bible says that what would a man give in exchange for his soul? I was like, that's exactly what happened to me a couple of years ago. But now that I'm in ministry, supporting sports people into the world of football, I'm seeing footballers after one another coming to me and say, bro, actually your testimony touched me because I've joined them. Are you sure Jesus can save me? Say, what did you do for you to join? They asked me to offer my son. They asked me to go into some intimate relationship with my own mother. They've asked me to sacrifice such person in a car crash. You see, in the physical realm, it will be like a car crash, a cancer, something, but somebody has offered them because they have the same blood. And if you look back in the Old Testament, you can see child sacrifice. You see, so as I am seeing this footballer telling me, I say, God, you've actually saved me from something so dark.
Now, I hope that's not what Anthony did. I hope he didn't do something that evil, and as sad as it is, I hope this was just an accident. But when it comes to those in this industry, you have to expect things like this to happen. I pray for those families who lost a loved one because of this. I hope they find peace. I don't want to disrespect them at all. I just want to point out the patterns that I always notice in these situations. More often than not, we see these big level ups come accompanied by a tragic loss, just like we're seeing in this situation. I want to know what you guys think below. Do you think this is all connected or just a dark coincidence? Well, I'm gonna end this one here. This is the last video of 2025. So I want to thank you all for the support you guys have shown me all year, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast. And today, man, I want to speak on a situation that was brought to my attention that's been all over the headlines regarding British-Nigerian boxer Anthony Joshua, who was unfortunately involved in a fatal car accident just a couple of days ago. And I wanted to just speak a little bit about this situation because there's a lot of weird numerology and a lot of weird things happening with this case. And I just wanted to give my thoughts. You know, I have a series, a playlist on this channel called More Than a Coincidence that's been running strong for more than 5 years. And there's a reason why it's called More Than a Coincidence, because we keep hearing and seeing things in the media and in the news and in this world that we're being told that these things are just coincidences. And I stopped believing in coincidences a long time ago. So let me start off by saying, first and foremost, rest in peace to everyone involved. For those of you that don't know, Anthony Joshua is, as I've said, a British-Nigerian boxer who's been boxing since 2007. He's been doing this thing for some time. And I want to go to the news article so we can better understand what happened. And then we're going to get into people like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, who I believe personally are under the program. And if you're new to the show, if you're not used to language like that, I mean that it is a strong possibility that Logan and Jake Paul are MK Ultra assets, allegedly. I think that when you look at Logan Paul and the video that went viral many years ago, that really brought him to the mainstream in regards to many people, with the viral video of him finding a dead body in the woods, I believe was a ritualistic video. I do believe that Jake Paul is in the know as well, if you know what I mean by that. If you're a Patreon member, then you follow my drift. And I think there's a lot of signs that Jake Paul is in the know. But first, let's go to the article and let's read a little bit about this. So it says here, British boxer Anthony Joshua injured in car crash that unalived two close friends in Nigeria. Former world heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua escaped with minor injuries in a car crash that unalived two of his friends and team members on Monday, according to Nigerian authorities and his promoter. The incident occurred around 11 a.m. on 5 a.m. Eastern time on a busy stretch of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which connects Ogun to the commercial center of Lagos. Local police in Ogun State reported. Joshua, who has family ties in Ogun, sustained only minor injuries, but Baba Sayi, a spokesperson for the Ogun State Police Command, said two other occupants in the vehicle with him, including the driver, were unalived. Now, this is already where some confusion is coming in, because if you go over to the New York Post, it says here, driver in fatal Anthony Joshua car crash could face charges. How can a person who's not alive face charges, right? So it says the man behind the wheel during the fatal car crash that hospitalized English heavyweight boxing star Anthony Joshua and unalived two of his trainers has been discharged from the hospital, but could now face criminal charges for his role in the collision. What I found weird about that is that, obviously, so when you look at the images here, so he was unalived in a car accident that looks like this, which is not rare. It happens more often than people realize, that people can be in a car crash where the vehicle is like smushed, but you come out with a minor injury. So I'm not saying that it's rare that this never happens, but it's a bit weird when, let's listen to what this eyewitness says. He says, an eyewitness has told the BBC about the moment of the crash. Musbois described seeing four cars coming from Lagos, Nigeria's largest city. The cars were speeding and trying to navigate, and they hit a truck parked in front of our shop. He tells BBC Pidgin. He says 4 people were inside Joshua's car, which a lot of people aren't talking about the driver. Joshua was trapped inside the car for about 20 minutes, he says. We saw him and said he is our glory here in Nigeria and went to rescue him. He walked out by himself, greeted the crowd, thanked people, and shook hands, he says. Now, I personally find this a bit strange. I'm not saying that it's just rare or that it's impossible for this to happen, rather. But for you to be involved in something so tragic like this, which, again, I send my condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones. But for you to be involved in something like this, and then to exit the vehicle and you're greeting people and you're shaking hands and you're thanking people, most people would be traumatized, in shock, trying to figure out what happened. Or that right there was a bit strange to me. Another thing that I found strange about this is that, okay, fine, he walked away with minor injuries, but he walked away with minor injuries. 2 of his closest friends passed away, unfortunately, but the driver survived, almost as if it wasn't meant for the driver. I don't know, I'm not saying that something nefarious here happened, but that just stands out to me that the 2 people that survived was both Anthony Joshua, and I'm glad that they survived, of course, was both Anthony Joshua and the driver, but his close friends passed away. Where this gets even more weird is when you start to look at the numerology of everything, right? That we've covered many times on this channel, especially when it comes to the Charlie Kirk incident. Many of you all found this channel through the Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Erica Kirk, TPUSA whole debacle. And a lot of numerology have come up, right? One of the biggest numbers being the number 33, the number 36, the number 6. When we talk about the Epstein, Hillary Clinton, and the list goes on, that number just have come up so many times over the years that it's not a coincidence at this point. Because if we have all this evidence, all these videos, all this research to show proof for this, and then another incident happens and we see the same numerology, at some point you got to stop calling it a coincidence. In this case, Anthony Joshua was 36 years old, or is 36 years old. Both of his friends that passed away were both 36 years old. And it just so happens that this rape that took place on December the 29th comes 10 days after a fight that Anthony Joshua had with the one and only Jake Paul, where the fight took place on December the 19th. The same fight where 33 million people were watching, the same fight where Anthony Joshua would knock out Jake Paul in the 6th round, the same fight where it was allegedly Anthony Joshua's 33rd fight. The numerology is staggering. And for those of you, it's just like WWE. If you believe that these things aren't scripted, if you believe that if you just trained hard enough and worked hard enough, and you can get up there and fight for 6 rounds and win $90+ million, and there's not a door that comes with that, there's not quote unquote sacrifices and weird things that come with ascension in Hollywood, in the entertainment industry, if you're still one of those people that's holding out hope, I got bad news for you. It just doesn't work that way. All right. We talk about Freemasonry often on this channel. For those of you that don't know, the number 33 in Freemasonry and the occult essentially stands for ascension, right? You've reached God-like status. So one could say that after Anthony Joshua, quote unquote, beat or knocked out, broke Jake Paul's jaw, allegedly, that he, quote unquote, ascended into God-like status. And a lot of times that comes with an answer. It's just the truth. But there's a few things about Anthony Joshua I believe a lot of people don't even know. Like I said, he started boxing back in 2007. But by 2010, 2011, he would face some run-ins with the law. A lot of people don't know that. He was actually pulled over and some marijuana was actually found in his vehicle. And he was actually facing quite a bit of time. A lot of people do not know that about him. And much like in my video about a guy by the name of Kevin McCall, who was the quote-unquote ghostwriter behind Chris Brown, much like how we spoke about in that video in his career, he faced some legal issues, and it was some interesting things that happened immediately after that when he received a heck of a deal, and then his career seemed to ascend. But he first had to do some other things first. You have to go and watch that video to find out what that thing was. But in this particular case, Anthony Joshua, not long after facing these serious charges, would actually become a member of something called the Member of the Order of the British Empire, which is something that only Prince Charles can approach and offer to a person. And then he would actually win, because if he went to jail for obvious reasons, he would not have been able to continue with his boxing career, let alone compete for championships and compete in the Olympics. Well, a year after the charges, which would eventually be dropped or lessened, and he just did community service and didn't have to do jail time, he actually would win the Olympic gold in 2012. And just like all other athletes, if you haven't checked out my video on Colin Kaepernick, I would highly encourage you to do so. It's actually one of the deeper videos on this channel. So I'm just gonna give you a heads up, it's pretty deep. If you're not into this type of stuff, that won't be the video for you. But much like Colin Kaepernick, who I believe is a Marxist, who I do believe is in the know and is into the occult, celebrities are used, right, as agents of chaos. And I believe that that's what Colin Kaepernick was. It doesn't matter if you are against racism and you think racism was really a big deal and he was standing up for that. It's deeper things that are at play. And what I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, these celebrities are being used as pawns. Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, allegedly, is no different, because he will come out in a video a few years back that a lot of people actually forget he got a lot of pushback for this video, because it was not only encouraging people to get the jab, but it was also stirring more division between the races of people, when he very creatively encouraged people to get the jab by talking about racism.
A virus that is not apologetic, a virus that spreads across all sectors of our communities, sports, education, churches, entertainment, the media, and even the government, not just in the UK, but across the world. The virus has been declared a pandemic. It is out of control. And I'm not actually talking about COVID-19. The virus I'm referring to is called racism. How long are we going to allow racism to spread through our communities? And right now we are in the community, and affect our lives without using the vaccine you already have in your possession. What is the possession? Me and you. You are the vaccine. I am the vaccine. We need to speak out in peaceful demonstrations, just like today, so well done, Watford. Inject the vaccine. We must not use a demonstration for selfish motives and turn it into rioting and looting.
And I've seen all across the internet, a lot of people have been saying that they believe that Anthony Joshua, this happened to him because he quote unquote didn't stick to the script because he wasn't supposed to knock out Jake Paul. I don't know if that's true, but this is what I will tell you. I do believe that all of these things are scripted. I don't believe you get on that stage unless you've been selected, not just because of your hard work. I mean, just look at the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. A lot of people can clearly watch that fight. Even Mike Tyson at his age should be able to knock out Jake Paul. That's just the truth. Mike Tyson is one of the strongest and most elite fighters we've ever seen in this world. And when you watch that fight, it was almost comedy. You know, this is all entertainment. And it was a bit of a humiliation ritual, in my opinion, that Mike Tyson had to go through to even participate in that fight. A lot of people forget that this man was basically naked on television to promote that fight. Another big thing about this fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul is that Jake Paul was constantly sticking out his tongue that almost seemed like a serpent's tongue throughout the fight. Another common thing you see from these celebrities is that I've mentioned this before about the videos. I said, and I'm still asking the same question, but why is it that you rarely ever see any celebrities who are followers of Christ unapologetically? Not progressive, fluid. The words in the Bible are interchangeable and flexible, and Jesus is all about love and no repentance and no sin and no hell. Why is it that you don't see any celebrities that are actually for what the scriptures stand for? Why is that? How come most celebrities seem to be open to all things or super against quote unquote Christianity? Why do you think that is? Anthony Joshua was no different. Anthony Joshua can be heard in interviews talking about how he was super accepting to all religions, doing interviews with witches, talking about how he was invested in the 48 laws of power and used some of those laws of power to advance his career. And it also doesn't help when Anthony Joshua is partnering with Freemasonic lodges to have his shorts auctioned off. It's also not helping when one of his affiliates during the boxing match is doing the Freemasonic hand signs, the same hand signs he can be seen doing as well. Not to mention that he literally stood on the checkerboard pattern flooring that we've covered many times on this channel, which further leads us to believe that Anthony Joshua is most likely a Freemason, which wouldn't be surprising at all because not only does that run rampant in the boxing industry, but it also runs rampant in Hollywood. Most of these people are Freemasons, and that's just what it is. As you notice in that video of Anthony Joshua talking about racism, much like Colin Kaepernick, he's wearing all black because that's by design. I mean, listen to former NBA player, current NBA player, whatever his current status is, a guy by the name of Trey Burks. I want you to listen to all the things that I already know and listen to what he said about the NBA and what it takes to become one of the elites in the sports industry.
Man, you made it to the league, bro. It's the whole, like, they don't put the emphasis on it that I feel like we should get because it's 1%. It's a prestigious fraternity, bro. Like, straight up, it's just something that ain't easy to do. So
I look at it like everybody in the world who ever played basketball wanted to go to the NBA, bro. Every kid from every state, from across seas, everything. And some of the people that got to do that, bro, it's a small list, bro. It's 1%, bro.
So I just feel like it need to be more respect on the guys who they don't look at as the so-called superstars, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Cause it's so much going on, bro. Like, and I don't even want to get into all that, but a lot of some niggas, bro, some superstars took a different route. I'm gonna be real. Like, some superstars took a different route, and I ain't get on here to talk about that much. But some of that shit come with some demonic shit, some dark shit. You feel me? Yeah. Some of that shit. Like, it get real.
And I want to give a shout out as well to The Truth Is, the YouTube channel The Truth Is, because he also shared a clip when talking about this topic as well of this soccer player who spoke about being approached. And this is especially relevant because he's not from America, much like Anthony Joshua. So you can hear about what happened to him and make your own decision.
Former professional soccer player Khalil Lambin, you have an absolutely wild story, including the offer to sell your soul for success. Tell us about it.
Till the day I reached the UK, and in the UK, I was offered by a journalist who in the beginning, I was not aware that he was part of this. So he basically said, let's have a interview about you. You've been in Thailand, you've been in Qatar, you've been all over the place as a young player. So the fans want to know more about you. So obviously I was naive and I said yes. And a couple of weeks later, I got some time. We went to a coffee place, and as I arrived, brother, he looked me straight in the eyes and he told me that I'm not a journalist. I'm like, if you are an agent, I already got a football agent. If you are from another team, I don't want to move from my actual team. I'm fine where I am. But then he said, no, we rule this world. We rule the sport industry. We rule the finance industry. We rule the music industry. And if you want to be part of the elite in your sport, you have to join the elite. So I was like, whew, bro, that was like tough, because for me, my hard work would be what would help me to step up. But bro, all my dream came down. I was like, in front of him, he's looking in my eyes and he's telling me that. So obviously my first reaction was fear. But bear in mind, I was not Christian, I was not working with Christ, and I was still Muslim, and he's offering me this. If you ask me today what kept me, is my beloved mother, who always told me, don't you ever sell your soul. And while this man is speaking to me, I could hear the voice of my mom in my ears. Do not sell your soul. Do not sell your soul. But then I asked him this question, what do I have to do to be part of the elite? He said, there is nothing physical. I will give you an address. You come at such and such time, and we will initiate you. I was like, whew. And as the voice of my mom was a seed in my heart, she kept, as he's speaking, I'm hearing, do not sell your soul. Do not sell your soul. I was like, phew, I can't do that. And I could see his energy, his aura was getting like really, no, that can't be possible. And I was like, no, I can't. And if you ask me today, I know that Jesus saved me from that. And as I'm reading the Bible says that what would a man give in exchange for his soul? I was like, that's exactly what happened to me a couple of years ago. But now that I'm in ministry, supporting sports people into the world of football, I'm seeing footballers after one another coming to me and say, bro, actually your testimony touched me because I've joined them. Are you sure Jesus can save me? I say, what did you do for you to join? They asked me to offer my son. They asked me to go into some intimate relationship with my own mother. They've asked me to sacrifice such person in a car crash. You see, in the physical realm, it will be like a car crash, a cancer, something, but somebody has offered them because they have the same blood. And if you look back in the Old Testament, you can see child sacrifice. You see, so as I'm seeing this footballer telling me, I say, God, you've actually saved me from something so dark.
My ultimate point here is, again, rest in peace to everybody involved, but the fact that this happened 10 days after he had the biggest fight of his life, the biggest payday of his life, I don't think it's a coincidence at all. And the goal of this channel is to open people's eyes as to what really goes on in this world. Y'all hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts, man. Once again, rest in peace to everybody that lost their life. Hop in the comment section and give me your thoughts on what you think. Links are in the description to my Patreon if you want access to extended and uncensored videos. Also, link is in the description to my merch store. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
So y'all already know what's going on. All right, y'all. We got Jake Paul right here, as he did multiple times in the fight, sticking out that serpent tongue at Joshua Anthony. We're gonna get into some stuff. You know, I got a couple of things I want to show y'all about Jake Paul, play some clips from people who are talking about it. Had a lot of folks sending me messages and, you know, asking me to do a video about this today. So I figured, why not? Let's go ahead and get into it. So as y'all already know, Joshua Anthony was involved in a fatal car accident just about, 8 to 10 days after he knocked out Jake Paul.
New photos of Anthony Joshua's wrecked car show how he came within inches of death after a crash in Nigeria. The heavyweight British boxing champion was traveling in a Lexus Jeep when it smashed into a stationary truck shortly after 11 a.m. 2 of the 5 people involved in the crash tragically lost their lives, but Joshua survived with just minor injuries and was taken to a local hospital. A friend of the star said that he's okay, but badly shaken up.
Now, that accident killed the two front passengers who were very close to Joshua Anthony. One of them was his personal trainer. The other may have been the assistant. I can't remember exactly, but Joshua Anthony escaped basically, untouched, scratches, probably a little bit of trauma, but he's good, right? So supposedly they tried to overtake a car on the expressway and they ended up crashing into a parked vehicle. It was parked. I saw something where it said the tire blew, and that's how they crashed into that parked vehicle that was on the expressway. And then I saw another article where it just said they overtook the car and they ended up hitting that parked truck. And there was nothing else but the fact that two people died and Joshua Anthony did not die. Now, under a lot of comments of different videos was people talking about Joshua Anthony not following the script, and they believe that Jake Paul was not supposed to get knocked out. Now, mind you, Jake Paul is worth $200 million. He made almost $100 million off that fight. I think about $94 million to be exact. Now, I don't know if he was worth 200 before the fight or if that fight increased his net worth to 200 million. So, you're pretty much at ritual level. You're pretty much at sacrifice level. I'm not sure exactly how much Joshua Anthony made, but the timing of this is undeniable, and I don't believe in coincidences. Now, do I think this was because he didn't follow a script? I don't know, because when you watch the fight, Jake Paul didn't even put his hands up. It's almost like he welcomed him to go ahead and knock him out in the 6th round by a 6'6" boxer. There's a lot of numerology around it as well. Joshua Anthony was 6'6". He knocked him out in the 6th round. Jake Paul also, before the fight, said that the fight was going to end in the 6th round. I just thought that was pretty interesting, being that Joshua Anthony is also 36 years old. So do I believe he didn't follow the script? I'm not sure. To me, if you go back and you watch it, kind of looked like Jake Paul welcomed that punch. He didn't brace. He didn't put his glove up, nothing. His face was just wide open to be knocked out. It kind of looked like he welcomed it. So I'm not really sure on that theory, but the timing, there's no coincidence at all. And I for sure believe that those two guys were sacrificed. Now, what you will find very interesting is that it says Joshua burst on the world stage at the 2012 London Olympics when he won super heavyweight gold for Britain. Now check this out. This is how I know this accident was a ritual sacrifice. They said in this article, it says American audiences might know him best for his decisive December 20th win over social media star turned boxer Jake Paul in a Netflix bout watched by about 33 million people. Y'all, come on now. But they're basically telling you this was his most famous moment on the biggest stage basically for him. Because now that he fought Jake Paul, this is like mainstream unless you're into boxing and so on. A lot of people know who he is now that's not like regular boxing fans. Now you're going to know even more because two people were just sacrificed for this fight. Look at the number they chose. I mean, we know what's up, but look at how, look at how deliberate this is. They made sure to say in a Netflix bout watched by about 33 million people, not about 34, 31, just so happened that 33 million people watched this fight. And now I feel like a price had to be paid. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some clips and, get some opinions from other people. Check this out.
The boxer Anthony Joshua was injured in a fatal car crash. This happened in Nigeria, guys. The two people he was with didn't make it. What I'm trying to understand is, how did Joshua suffer minor injuries, but the two people he was with didn't make it? Now, remember, guys, he was in the back of an SUV. So, you know, people in the back, I guess he had a seatbelt on. Because if not, he would have probably went through the front, right? But the two people in the front did not make it, guys. This is wild. They saying that the car hit a stationary vehicle, which means that the car wasn't moving. It must have been parked or something. What I'm trying to understand, guys, is how did they hit a parked car and did it make it? How fast were they really going? And then people are saying that the crash came after he knocked out the YouTube star, Jake Paul. Why would they say that? You know why? Because they're just telling you that he had a fight with Jake Paul, and then 2 weeks later, he happened to get into a car crash, but he's okay. You know? Something's going on here, guys. Something that I don't know nothing about, because nothing's going on here, guys.
It's always the same script with you motherfuckers. Bad car accident, died in the tub, drug overdose. You motherfuckers played out, bro. Cause nothing happened to this man until he beat old Jakey Poo. Now the man get in a car accident, 2 dead, he's severely injured. We on to y'all ass. We know he broke contract. That fuck ass no knockout clause that he gonna put in every fight. Motherfuckers been getting knocked out since I was 8 years old. Now all of a sudden you come into boxing, there's a no knockout clause. Boy, that's the most pillow soft, cotton soft shit I done ever heard, boy. All this money this man got, you mean to tell me he riding around with ball tires? Tire just exploded, huh? Yeah, I bet.
Now, there's some videos all over the internet of the car and of a little small truck, basically towing the car away. Y'all, the front end of the car is absolutely gone. It is gone. And when you look at that little corner of like that, military looking diesel truck that it rammed into, it don't even look like that truck budged. It looks like very small damage done. They hit that truck so hard, if that's even what it hit. It was like an immovable object to the damage that it did. Now, this angle is decent, but there's another angle where you can see the vehicle from the side. Y'all, the entire front of the car is just gone. There was absolutely no way. Damn near no one should have survived. The car is gone. So the front passengers are you're out of there. Insane the way this car looks. It's kind of like how that Kevin Hart crash looked, where it's just like, ain't no way somebody survived it. No way. It looked crazy. I'll see if I can find another picture in the moment that I was doing this video. But there was something else. One last thing I wanted to show y'all, just kind of make this a, decent, quick video, right? There was something I found where this might have been 2 years ago. Not sure how long ago it was. I know it was at least 2 years ago, where Jake Paul talked about this breath ritual that he does before fights, and that his team gathers and they do this type of ritual before the fight, right? And he said something that was very interesting. I thought y'all should check out.
About to the team breathwork session, which is a ritual we've done for every fight. It's like a deep, long meditation. The first session I ever did, it was so powerful. I started crying, I started laughing.
And we're using a breathwork technique to go into a non-ordinary state.
It just brings up so many emotions, so many thoughts. Maybe there's some weird spiritual higher powers controlling this career.
Make a sound.
Interdimensional midwives giving birth.
I love you guys!
People are probably like, what the hell are they doing? But I think they won't be saying that after Sunday night.
Now, you notice what he said. The guy said that they were going to go into an unconventional state. And he just so blatantly, now I think that was back in 2021 actually, he so blatantly admitted that some kind of spiritual higher power basically controls his career, controls his life. So these people are never afraid to admit to what they're doing, because it's like in that moment he realized this was gonna be weird on camera. So that was the best thing he could say, because he knew people would think this is something like some kind of demonic practice channeling or something, you know, and who else knows what they would do off camera. But for him to actually admit that some kind of spiritual higher power is controlling it, he didn't mention God or Jesus, he didn't mention that. You know, so if you're talking about a higher power controlling this like breath ritual, going into a, you know, a different state of mind, an unnatural state, it must be something else. You know, I just thought that was very interesting that he chose to say that on camera in a way of like, you know, letting people know what is actually going on, because he knew people were going to think something of that.
I feel you on that,
and he would be right. So with that being said, y'all, just wanted to get on here and talk about it, man. I ain't going to talk y'all heads off too much. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, though. It's interesting. Unfortunate that once again, 2 people lose their lives that were surrounded by a fight worth hundreds of millions of dollars with 33 million people watching it. Seemed like one big ritual, and some blood contracts were signed for that fight. And ultimately that blood was given up in a sacrifice. And man, it's crazy, y'all. That being said, man, it's Black Balloon, and I'm gonna see y'all soon, all right? I'm out.
Now let me tell you this.
Okay, y'all. More information is coming out about Anthony Joshua, y'all. Word on the street is this was no accident, y'all. This was no accident. And to be exact, word on the street is all 3 people in that car are supposed to be gone. Word on the street, that's what they're saying. We're about to talk about it, y'all. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To my day 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, thank you so very much. I appreciate you all, and welcome, welcome, welcome. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only, so everything is alleged, some is not, and the Fair Act use is in my description box, y'all. So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. Y'all, was it a paid hit? Was it a paid hit, y'all? A little birdie puts up in my ear, and I'm gonna say this. Shout out to my little birdie, okay, y'all? Y'all, this was no accident. Matter of fact, this was planned to a T, y'all. Especially the area where the whole incident happened at. Word on the street. When, you know, this came across my desk, I said, oh, wait a minute now, this sounds like Mo 3. And I have to take you back to Dallas for a second, okay? When Mo 3 was taken out on that expressway, where he was blocked off at and all of that stuff was done on purpose. There were people working on the street in that area over there right there, okay? So the area is being, you know, worked on. There was a way for you to get off of that little bridge, off of that expressway, by jumping over it, okay? In that area. This is why that area was chosen. Well, word on the street now is the boxer, Anthony Joshua, and his 2 friends that was coming down that particular highway, that was purposely picked to happen in that area, y'all. Now, word on the street is that's a high crime area where a lot of people run into instances with their car in that area because people in that area like to rob people that's coming through there. Okay, y'all? Was they put there on purpose to mess with him? Okay? Word on the street is not what people think it is. This is what they're saying. And they're saying that the little SUV car, whatever that he was riding in, the SUV that he was riding in, they're saying that that particular rad that he was in is known for having good tires to stand through anything. When you hit in potholes and stuff like that, they're saying that's the car to have, the SUV to have, because it withstands a lot of stuff, y'all. Okay, y'all? Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. They said this particular vehicle is very durable and built to withstand almost anything, especially the tires, y'all. Word on the street. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We have 2 people that done lost their lives over some stupidity. And they're saying that this was because he didn't, take it easy on the Paul guy, y'all. Jake Paul. Lord have mercy. I'm wondering now if there's going to be some type of investigation take place. Because this is what they're saying now. Oh, sugar might hit the fan when it comes to...
Hold on, let's get right now. Let's get real. Let's understand what's going on right now. You need to know what's going on. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Become a member right now. Subscribe for free. You in here with your boy Dealatofficial and my fam. And you know this is No Filters. Don't get it twisted, man. We here to read in between the lines. Let me say this right now. The reason why that happened like that with the Logan Paul situation, because you need to understand something. They have invested in the product. And anytime a person chooses to give up their whole entire life for these people, surrender their life for these people, and these people know that they have invested in this influencer, this idol, that this person can influence the masses in such ways that he becomes an asset that you can never mess with unless they choose to put him under. And for Jake Paul and for Joshua here, it all plays and makes sense even the more. Because now you have Joshua acting like he's bigger than the system. Because now you've not went by the script. And now you went bigger than the system. And now they came for you, but they got your peoples. So they sent the message to him. Because even if they didn't get at Joshua, the message was sent that you're not bigger than the system. And whether we pick Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Ru Paul, it don't matter. St. Paul. You not bigger than the system. You better follow the script, fam. And as easy as that was done, all of a sudden, they just try to take that man right there and they took his people and sent them a message like, don't play with us. We'll get rid of you right now. Now, let me tell you something. That seems like some 007 movie-ish. You can't tell me that don't seem like another level of a movie. I keep telling you that the reality is movies and the movie is the reality. Movies are made from reality. They get books from back then, from the old days, before Christ, before when the gods was whatever God they wanted to worship, back in the Game of Thrones days. They read them books, fam, and they make movies off of that, off of reality, stuff that really happened. And then we watch the movie and try to replay it out. You see the cycle? They get reality to create the movie, then we see the movie and try to play it back in reality. And that's a shame within itself that that's the cycle we living in. That is exactly how it's being done. And I'm only saying it because if we can easily see that happen, and then we all hop on here, No Filters, Didi got a podcast, Truth Is, Miss Lowdown, shout out to all of them. We can just hop on here real fast and start telling you what we think and what we know. And like fam say, they got these theories, they got all of this happening right in front of our faces, and they calling us conspiracy theorists. And these things are really happening. And then on top of that, every time something is done, they continue to use what they've already done to someone else. Let me say that again. Every time something is done, they continue to use the same strategy that they've already used on someone else. And the crazy part about that is when you think about Mo 3 was put on a highway of a dead end. He was driving knowing where he was going. And then the fact is, in his mind, he even seen he couldn't even go no more. And that man had to literally get himself together knowing that once he pulled up where he was at, he was going to either have to run around that car, run that a certain type of way to get out of there, or he was going to have to run around, run up on dude, take a bullet, and find himself doing this to even get the strap up out of dude's hand. But they knew that highway. And that's literally crazy that highway he got on, that man still, it was a dead end. You can go look at it. It's sad. But it's the fact that it was set up like that. And when you in this crazy game like this, somebody can just put a bag on your head like that, some Jake Paul, allegedly, or even with Mo 3, they was talking like Yellow Beezy and all of them having beef allegedly, like, and then people talking publicly like, boy, shut up, I put a bag on you. Reality is the movie is reality. And we seeing it play out once again in our face. And this guy right here, see, that's another thing too. You never know these people in their past. You would have never thought this man was in the Masonic temple getting his life together. And then when you look at Kevin Hart, we already know his situation because that boy done went all type of ways. But then it make you even think even more. Boy done put a dress on. Boy done had an accident. Boy done got humiliated with his wife. I mean, once you get the money, you got to keep getting the money. So whichever way you got it, you're going to keep probably going down that same road to keep getting it. Not to mention he been around Diddy. So I think I just wanted to point that out, that you can't sign up with them folk and think you bigger than the system. You can't sign up with the system and think you bigger than the system. And if he didn't follow the script, they wanted to chastise him. I'm just trying to figure out, why is the driver driving the manner that he is? And if the tires was great and it got blown out, why did they see a tire that was blown out? Did we see the tire? Okay, you didn't. Why? Because the whole front of the car missing. So the tire missing, all the tires missing. It don't even matter. No eyes on the tire because the whole front of everything is missing. What are we talking about? This man is in the back seat with a seat belt on. Let's think about that for a second. How you know Joshua wasn't in on it? Let's look at the facts. Let's look at the facts. Normally, when somebody make it big like this, or they find themselves in a situation and they come up, that boy just got $93 million from fighting a fake boxer named Logan Paul. Or Jake Paul, whichever one. That don't make sense. So that would further let me know Joshua had something to do with that. Once they told me that boy was at the lodge, then they told me that boy, his most successful fight he ever had in his life, then they told me that boy broke his jaw and he did a clean shot without Paul even putting his hands up. Like, that's the script. See, people got it wrong. But you know, we're going to get it right. That boy had something to do with that. Let me tell you what I think. That boy had something to do with that with his people, because he didn't got what he didn't got, and they was the sacrifice for him. And he was in that thing. And he allowed that to happen, and that's who he put on the line. Just like these other folks talking about they done got rid of their mamas, their daddies, their cousins, their people, this was him. This was all him. So while everybody talking about Paul and all that, oh no, he get money. He Mr. 200 million man. This boy just got his first ever $93 million fight with a fake boxer. Do you get what I'm saying here? That wasn't no real boxer. That wasn't no legendary pound for pound title for no. That's no Paul Logan and Jake Paul, whoever the boy Paul, he's a celebrity boxer. He is not a real fighter. So when you do something like this, it is truly going to be levels of ritualistic going on. When a script is written, it's truly ritualistic. So I say that to you again. This is all Joshua. This all duck activity. Cut it out and put it to the side. This all Joshua, fam. This all Joshua. Alone. Single-handedly Joshua. It happened in his house. Look at the facts. It happened in his city. It happened in his house. It happened on a block. What are we talking about? Just like some Suge Knight and Tupac. The man in the car with him, but he don't get towed up. But this man get every bullet, and you don't get even spot or bopped or even one in the shoulder, the neck, some. But the fact you in it will make people not want to say you wasn't in it. The fact that you in it will make people say you out of it. Let me say that again. The fact that you was in it will make people say you out of it. You was involved. You took it too. What man would put himself in a car to get rid of his own people, if not knowing his life is already protected? Play with me up in here. What man is finna just hop in a whip and commit suicide if he already know he's protected? You better hit that like button, subscribe right now, boy. Become a member. We saving your life. Because they telling y'all whatever. And then everybody running with that same narrative right until you pull up on Dealatofficial and my fam here at No Filters. You understand? We read the headline, then we go in between the lines, because this work right here, ain't nobody saying nothing that we saying. Everybody talking about, oh, Jake Paul, he a lizard. He got the snake tongue. He demonic. He this and he that. But who just came up? Who just had the #1 fight of their life and didn't even do it with no real boxer? Who just looked at like the one and only on Netflix and all of that? Where at? Nigeria. All of that's Joshua. Where everybody running after Paul, all of this is Joshua. His place, his money, his area, his city, his country. He been up. Netflix was him. Paul been getting money. Paul been doing his own thing. This all Josh right here, fam. And I'm sorry he thought somebody wasn't going to see that. But I'm here to open eyes and enlighten folk and bring light to darkness. Yeah, this was all Joshua, fam. Yeah. Masterminded. And the funny part is when they said something about who? Like Mo3. Like they tried to size him up. You see how it make her think that? But the back end of that is the fact that Joshua was in the same situation of a car crash. And like, man, I'm telling you, man, they done came up with so many different ways of doing stuff that it don't do nothing to take you back to somebody else that they already did it too. And in this case, everybody's looking at the wrong situation. This is not Paul. No, this is all Joshua. This ain't Paul, this is Joshua. You understand me? So take that back where you got that from, fam. This ain't Paul, this is Joshua. This is his whole thing. Right now, Joshua somewhere like everybody else be, after they do this to their family, somewhere that boy about to go on vacation. That's basically what they do. He finna go on vacation. Yeah. Kick his feet up, all of that. He just got 93 million. Took out 2 of his closest best friends. It's always got to be somebody close to you. What? And the fact that his friends, he took 2 of them. That wasn't his mama, his daddy, his brother, his sister, his uncle, his cousin. It was just friends. So they like, oh, you want friends? Okay, well, you need to come on with 2. See, a part of me feel like they want the world to know that this is what they doing, that this is how they operate. So a part of me feel like they trying to either scare us or they trying to show us that this is the way moving forward in the life, in the world that we living in, and you better get comfortable. This is more than what we seeing and what we hearing. I'm here to tell you, going in, this is the last day of 2025, and it's a blessing that y'all doing this with me right in my face. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you right here with me. But I'm telling you, this is a warning for you to understand this is the way we operate and this is what we do, and nobody can stop us. So I'm telling you, something is brewing. Something is coming. And I'm telling you, it's a level of force that if you think this is something, in the manner of which of how they're moving out here and showing their hand, you better get protected and get your family together for what's about to happen. Because I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to stop. And if we ain't together on this, and if we ain't believing in one another to make this work and go against, we will be defeated in small increments, not in large groups, in small wars. We will be defeated in small wars till the battle is won by them. So I'm telling you right now, to get ahead of this thing, something is brewing. Something is coming. News is about to be dropped. Have your eyes on, your ears and your brain in 2026 to be aware. Because when it come and it drop, your little heart or your little chest gonna stop for a second. Because you're gonna realize in that moment and in that moment only, we have no control. So you better pray to the gods that who you believe in will step in and come in and work this out on your behalf, that he keeps you and your family. Because I'm telling you, chaos is brewing. Anarchy is coming. Chaos is brewing and anarchy is coming. You must warn people and get some shelter to get safe to know what's finna happen here. Because the way they moving and what they doing and who they showing their hand to, they have no regard of who you are. When martial law kick in, shout out to you, Chris, because that's the next step. When martial law hits, after anarchy, after the chaos, that's when you will know all are under control. And in that moment only is when then you're going to have to make a decision about RFID chips. You're going to have to figure out who you believe in then for real. Because I'm telling you, this is how it starts. Charlie Kirk in the neck, broad daylight. Charlie Kirk in the neck, broad daylight. Found out it ain't his neck, it's the back of his head. When I say no regard, hit that like button, double tap that screen right now. Let's go.
The situation. And it's crazy that when somebody want to take you out, and especially in another race or this and that, this, they will use your own people to come at you. Your own people, y'all. They're saying now that those tires could have been tampered with. They're saying that those tires don't bust like that. They don't burst.
And again, as you hear her keep talking that, she's talking from that same narrative that Jake Paul, whoever Paul, Logan Paul, whichever one of them, that they're the ones that sent them people on him. And I'm like, no, He was riding with his fam and them. That's all Joshua. He was riding with his fam. Whatever went about the way they went about, and the way they went, where they went. So you done hopped in a car, knowing your people finna go down. And the only way it's gonna work is if you in the car too. So they tell your big 6'6", 200-some pound, nothing but muscle machine to get in the car too, to make it even more convincing. Like, who else should? Big 6'6", big extra beefy body with Tupac. It wouldn't have mattered. He gets shot, it's gonna feel like a BB gun. What we talking about? This man get in a car accident like that, it don't matter. It's gonna feel like a little bump and a little move. Cause why? If you look at the car, when they pulled the man out the car, trip off this. Look at him when they pull him out the car. When they pull him out the car, you can just look at him. He's looking like he's just sitting there. And look how he just sitting there. Look at that man. Look at that man. That man just sitting there. He's just, look at that. I mean, it's like either, come on, man. Come on, man. Folk know when they put something together and they finna go crash, and they finna make this, or they finna crash and it's only gonna hit a certain way. So you can't tell me that Joshua, Anthony, and Jake Paul or Logan Paul, whichever one, was in the room talking about what they finna do and how they gonna do it. This thing was put together. This thing was scripted. I'm telling you. You sitting up there telling me they ain't sitting down talking about what they finna do and the way it's finna be done. And this how it's gonna have to happen. And then he take a shot or open shot at the end of the boxing match in the face, break his jaw. And then they create the narrative that the boxer Paul, this boy done sent them people at him over there in Nigeria to get at him. No, fam. No, fam. Look at that. Look at him. He can actually move. Look at that man, like, moving himself out of there. I mean, look at that. The front of the car is annihilated. They did a head-on collision with a parked car. Let me say that again. They did a head-on collision with a parked car. A head-on collision with a parked car. Somebody knows something, fam. Like, how all of a sudden with a parked car and then he walk out with no problem? Somebody sent that car into that thing, fam. And now he faking, trip off this. As he's getting out the car, sitting in the car, he got no pain, he doing nothing. As he's getting out the car, he still ain't got no face. As this black man over his shoulder talking to him, he starts to act like he feeling all his pain all of a sudden. Let's keep going. Check it out. Dude, get in the car. Who is that dude getting in the car? He got a regular face. Come on, you got all that pain, but then you got that old regular face getting in the car chilling. You done forgot to do your act. Shout out to you, L. Thomas. Ain't seen you in a minute. Happy New Year, fam. You know it. Ain't that crazy? Real quick, fam. Just so y'all know, man. Happy New Year, fam. I know what the timing gonna be like, what the level gonna be like, regardless. Just real quick, real nice, real. Happy New Year, fam. But yeah, that man look like ain't nothing wrong with him. And then all of a sudden, he got to get back in the script and start doing the face again. Let's do it. Oh my God. Push. You doing all that. You still should be doing all that while you sitting there, because it's still pain. You get what I'm saying? Come on, fam. What we doing, man?
On December 19th, Anthony Joshua.
So I know I ain't tripping out there, because I know how they coming in the way. They just made up all of that.
Black Lexus Jeep with registration number.
And see, and in this video, I heard we talk about the Jeep, the whole look.
He only escaped by the whiskers. This is Anthony Joshua also in the middle, and these are the two friends. You know, both of them very close to him, training him as a sports person. You need to be trained and retrained from time to time to keep pace with, you know, the expectation of your profession. These two gentlemen, as we speak, are in the mortuary now in Shagamu in Ogun State. This is Anthony Joshua, the only survivor among the three friends that came from the United Kingdom. Now let's look at this pictorial illustration of what happened yesterday. This is a stationary vehicle parked by the side of the road, a Sina truck, right, well loaded with goods. And this is the vehicle that Anthony Joshua and the friends traveled in from Lagos, Lexus Jeep. This Lexus Jeep ran into this stationary vehicle at this point. And look at the impacts. It destroyed this side of the vehicle, killing Anthony's friend number 1 and Anthony's friend number 2. This is Anthony Joshua. He only survived because he was not on this side of the vehicle. If he was on this side of the vehicle, he would certainly have died.
You better shut your mouth. You better shut it up in here, right? Did you hear that? Did you see what's going on here? Open up your eyes. Did you not just see that? Now you telling me they ain't playing that? That man is on the other side in the back seat with his seatbelt on. What live human you know hopping in the back seat and throwing their seatbelt on? Almost threw, boy. What? Don't tell me this ain't nothing put together. This is what I be talking about when I tell you they tell on themselves without even telling enough information. They still tell them themselves when they trying to hold something out. That boy is on this side of the vehicle. They hit that. They hit this so hard, it took 2 of them. And he over here with his seatbelt on. What are we talking about right now? For the impact to even just hit that and do that, that had to be put together some way because of the level of impact for that to just hit that like that. And then all of a sudden, the entire front of the car is about missing and all of that. And that's just the open side of it. All of this is missing and that. And he's just sitting in there like nothing's nothing. Without a scratch. Shirt off, ain't bleeding, ain't nothing. That is some movie type-ish, fam. That we can watch a movie and see a car hit some type of something and the whole right side of the car gets shaved off. Have that not been in a movie before? And a high speed of some type of 007 or some type of Avengers movie, some type of something. A whole car can get shaved off and the whole person is still in this side and it's like, oh, that was hard. We looking at the movie like, oh man, that was crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if they called in some of the movie folk and said, okay, listen, this is the car we're using. This is what's going to happen. We can ignite the car and the whole thing could dispense from the car. Just hit this, everything gone. And you will still be sitting here with your seatbelt on, not a scratch on your body. Thank you, fam. Theo, Fast and Furious. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. We've seen it. We see the script. We know it. Hit that like button, double tap that screen, man, for the ignorance, man.
This is the driver of the vehicle. He also survived because that was not the impact area of the vehicle, right? Now, this is the vehicle here. This is the photograph of that vehicle, the truck, the Sina truck that was stationed on the road. You see, it's been cordoned off now. This is very typical of my country. When the vehicle is just there, stationed, nobody cordons it off, nobody tows it away, but the moment it causes death, it will be cordoned off. And if you go back to the scene of that accident, you're not going to see this vehicle again. I can bet that. You are not going to see this vehicle again. Why? The vehicle has now been towed away. That towing van that was not available to move this vehicle away before it caused the death, that towing van will come out now. Road safety will provide the towing van. If they don't have it, they will go and hire it. The same thing they should have done before the accident. This is something that Nigeria really needs to check. A lot of people have died in the same situation. This one is just popular. This one is just heard across the world because of the personality of Anthony Joshua. Avoidable.
And then look at this. The driver, look at the driver. The driver is driving. So he making sure what he doing here for. Who is the driver? It could have been one of them elites handlers. See, this is when we talk about the handlers that's there. The people that's there on the backside, these so-called security people, these drivers and all of these extracurriculum people that's just always around, fam. You see what I'm saying? That's this type of situation. You hear me? You have to note for them, because then when we found out, just like in Britney Spears' situation, Britney Spears had the same handler that was with Kim Kardashian now. That man was around Britney Spears making sure she do what she's supposed to and get back like a good girl. So I'm not putting it past that the driver knew what he was doing. And Damon and Joshua in the back with the seatbelt on. Listen to me. The man in the back with the seatbelt on. The driver know what they finna do. We about to hit this. We about to get out the way, and that's it. And the only people that's gone and unalive is these two guys on the left side of this thing here. You better shut up today. And that man just got 93 million. We done seen this script before. We know what this movie called. Sacrifice. We know what this movie called. Sacrifice. What? If you want to be the GOAT. We know what this movie called.
Death on most of the roads in my country. Now this is the vehicle. You see the impact here? This is this, you know, there's no way any human being that sat on this side of the vehicle would have survived. You know, now following the accident, the Federal Road Safety Commission has made a press release. It says Federal Road Safety Commission operatives
hit that like button, double tap that screen, Mimi. Happy New Year.
Problem with this rescue. Did they really rescue Anthony Joshua? I think Anthony Joshua survived by the grace of the Almighty, not because road safety rescued him. I hope nobody's trying to take undue credit here, right? It says the Federal Road Safety Corps wishes to confirm a fatal road traffic crash.
But I ain't gonna lie too. It's definitely grace of God, because you can be all the devil, you can be all of the stunt devil and all of that. God still got to keep you, man. He still got to keep his hand of protection upon you and wherever you going and the way you going about it. You can plan it and do it how you want, but God just still got to keep you. You get what I'm saying? And that's the realest thing. Let me say this, for real. I would say the more that this has truly been a journey here at No Filters, man. Let me say that a real deal. Let me say that again. It's truly been a journey here at No Filters. Because you never know what a day gonna bring. And you never know what a year gonna come out to. But I feel it's so deep to say this, you know, that I really appreciate each and every one of y'all because, you know, when I started No Filters, when we started No Filters, let me say we, because I started this and it was motivated not just by me, by things I went through, things that I've been through, things that was going on with my daughter, you know. And I think I had like no outlet. I've always been an artist, I've always been in my bag, but you know, when my daughter really had went through a situation medically that only the Lord brought her through, thanks to the surgeons and the doctors here in St. Louis at Cardinal Glennon. It was truly a blessing that she's here in the land of the living. But I say that to say that you just don't never know what a day will bring or what a situation will come out to for you to find yourself going a different route in your journey. Taking a left, taking a right in your path and in your walkway on your street. And I think I'm just truly blessed, family, because y'all really saved me. You know, y'all really saved me, fam, because I was in a place that just I couldn't get out of, you know what I mean? And I can't really break down right now, but I just want you to know, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and I really love you because y'all really saved me, fam. Coming out of that place. I was in a very dark place. I was in a very lonely place. I was in a very steadfast place of just in my space. And No Filters really gave me a place, gave me a space to create, to voice, to open up, to breathe again. I just want y'all to know, everybody that started here might not be here right now, but at some point they'll see this. I truly want you to know, for those that are here right now and that's grown with me, you've seen the blood, sweat, and the tears, literally. That's a real thing. Shout out to Nene Love Savvy TV that's really walked this journey with me, that's been there, gonna still be here. Has always been a sponsor. What you see on my chest, and what you see behind my back, has always been day one. I want to shout out to Nene Love Savvy TV. I'm truly grateful for the support. And that's a real thing. It don't get no realer than that in understanding what's really real in the situation. Because you never know what a day will bring, or you never know what a year will come out to. But I know here at No Filters, it's truly been a blessing to be able to bring to you, to enlighten, to darkness, for you to understand, to inform and understand and be aware, family. That you know if it walk like a duck and it talk like one, what it is. So I definitely want to say, man, from me to you, Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I truly bless and hope that you all resolutions and that whatever you have on your mind that you want to do better, that you want to change, I pray, Lord, that it happens. And this prosperity is definitely in your lane and in your way, moving forward in this 2026 year. All that we have coming, I truly pray that you are a part of it here at No Filters. It's truly been that much of a family and that much of a blessing to be a part of you all as well. As always, fam, you know what it is. 2025 wrap up, getting it in, getting it the one way, the only way to do it, and only way, one way to do it right there. And that is right here with your boy Dealatofficial. Here with my fam here at No Filters. I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all being a member, subscribing, if you hit a like button, if you just came and just looked for a minute and left, I truly thank you so much, because all that has always done so much more than what you think. Your contributions to No Filters family here has always been more than just you, what you think. Just your time has truly been a blessing and a favorable one. And I truly thank you so much. As always, fam, you already know, man, the raffle, don't get it twisted, coming up. You get your raffle, $2 or the $5 for the hoodie, or even the more cash out. You put it in there for the support. You see the super chat. I truly appreciate it. You'll get your version of your color of the No Filters Classic hoodie, which signed by your boy Dilla T. Sponsored by Nene Love Savvy TV. Getting it in and getting it done. You already know what it is, man. I truly appreciate you as always, family, coming in and out Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Looking forward to what we have coming in 2026. You need to be a member. You need to have subscribed so you can join me, your boy Dilla T, right here, live. Me and you co-starring with your boy Dilla T as we go head on and we cook it, making sure that family come in. One member will definitely be coming in on a Friday with your boy Dilla T, and we starting in January. You know what it is. Will that be you? If so, you need to make sure you're a member. You need to make sure you subscribe. You need to make sure you're hitting them like buttons, coming in, supporting each and every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. As always, fam, you know it. There's only one way to do it, because we're here to enjoy. We're here to enlighten, bring light to darkness. We're here to read the headline and read in between the lines. That if it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, it's a duck. And we in duck hunt season, and we going to sit them down, because why? We cooking in here. You know what it is, family. As always, I truly thank you, and I appreciate you. Each and every one of you all, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m., knowing that when you come in, you gotta get you something to eat. You gotta get you something to drink. And you gotta get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title, always in 2025. You ain't your boy Dilla T and my fam. And this is No Filters. I love you all. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Y'all be safe. I'm expecting each and every one of you. Be safe. Lock your doors. Wash your corners. Keep it with you. Keep God first, fam. As always, Dilla T signing out.